like to share is the official British response to this disgusting event. Greetings, you disgusting scum. As I look down upon the filth-smeared rabble assembled here before me, I am overwhelmed by many intense feelings. Pity at the befuddled stares which I see on so many of your faces, as you struggle in vain to follow along with the big words and complex clauses which I'm so accustomed to employing when addressing British citizens. Confusion at the freakish and misguided American fashion choices that I see on so many of you standing there with logo-covered, Dorito-stained rags swallowing your diseased limbs. And of course, revulsion at the olfactory kaleidoscope of putrid American stenches wafting up to assault the various openings in my head. A bouquet of scents that I would only guess to be some combination of rancid Gatorade, Axe body spray, carburetor grease, and various sexual lubricants. But above all, I am filled with a deep sense of sadness and regret that my brave ancestors, who 200 years ago tried so generously and selflessly to civilize this dark region, were in the end unable to do so, despite their best and most incendiary efforts. Before I go on, I can see that many of your soaping, simian American brows are furrowed in deep puzzlement at the fact that I am not speaking with a so-called British accent. At least those of you whose ears, or as you Americans call them, hearing holes, are not plugged up with cigarettes, axle grease, and condoms. And to them I say, you are correct. Although it takes all of my effort to choke back the sour vomit that rises from my gut when I hear myself speaking in the pathetically flat drawl. Oh, let's go over here. The pathetically flat drawl that you Americans have the perversity to call English, I am speaking to you with an American accent. I make this great sacrifice to my dignity for two reasons. Firstly, for the sake of your own comprehension, for I would be a fool to expect you to understand the melodious sound of proper Queen's English. But also for the sheer ironic thrill of hurling my disgust at you in your own pathetic excuse for a language. But if I could ask you to please refrain from masturbating and accidentally shooting each other for a few moments, I will tell you that the truth is that we British want nothing more than to help you misguided colonials, to bring the glorious light of progress to you in the same way that we succeeded in bringing it to many other regions, from Africa to the Middle East, by burning down your homes, shooting or stabbing those of you who try to flee. In that way, we would have been able to start fresh with a clean slate and gotten down to some real proper British innovation. But unfortunately, some unknown number of your forebears proved slightly more flame retardant than we had anticipated, and we were unable to finish the job. And instead of a proved slightly more flame retardant than we had anticipated, and we were unable to finish the job. And instead of a properly modern British city, we're left instead with this quasi-prehistoric nest of hovels and donut franchises. If you would only let our brave redcoat boys do their work in peace 200 years ago, all of you would be exhibiting the same cultured, elegant, regal deportment that you see in me. Instead of what you are doing, swaying dumbly from side to side as you stare open-mouthed off into the middle distance, blinking and moronically gulping breath after breath of disgusting American air, barely comprehending what goes on around you. More like bipedal livestock than thinking, reasoning humans. We tried to help you and got no cooperation, which is why I say on behalf of our great queen and her loyal subjects, fuck you, America, and fuck you, Buffalo. The precious city is nothing more than the disgusting cloaca of the Great Lakes. It doesn't smell like Cheerios, it smells like black mold. And if any of you knew what was good for you, you'd finish what we started in 1813 and light yourselves on fire before I finish this sentence. But I know you won't, because you probably get distracted by your own genitals before you finish striking the match. As for me, I'm going to go get vaccinated against any diseases that I didn't already get just from walking on the same mud as the rest of you insects, and try to forget that my great country ever bothered to colonize this scum hole. To those few of you in the audience who have not passed out in a drunken stupor or diabetic coma since I began this sentence, I say to you, as we say back in jolly old England, go suck shit.